Sports Addicts Anonymous. My name is Fantasy Satan.
Hello, Fantasy Satan.
And I am a fantasy sports addict.
And I am the fantasy god. And I, too, am a fantasy sports addict.
It's been a long time since we've been in the same room.
For good reason.
What are you doing with the pineapple, by the way?
I'm doing what you should be doing with the pineapple and enjoying a fruity beverage.
Oh, well. What you're really supposed to do with the pineapple is make a fruity beverage. That's what we're here to do today. We made fruity beverages out of Tom and Ryan. I got myself a Kids in the Hall poster. Ryan sold his soul. Again. Haven't you talked to him about it yet? No, never. Oh,
I thought you could only sell a soul once.
well, you can stretch a man out more than once. How about that?
So, as the fantasy god and the fantasy devil, what are we doing here today?
Well, I came into town to watch. Well, it's Phoenix. It's hot, right? I love it here. That's where I like to cool off, you know? I came into town for some Cactus League baseball. What the hell are you doing here?
A little Cactus League, a little golf, enjoying the weather.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
I'm going to give you some weather. How about that? Yeah, well, you know what? Since we're here, we got their set, their camera, and all this other shit. And their show notes. We thought, let's talk about Dynasty Baseball. We were in Cactus League. And, yeah, Dynasty Baseball. Let's talk about a Dynasty first-year draft strategy. How about
Okay.
that?
So what strategy is the fantasy Lord of Darkness doing?
Well, the Fantasy Lord of Darkness likes them young. Real young. When I say young, I mean young. Let me get out the tricycle. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the tricycle. No. All right, if I'm picking in the top three, I ain't touching Paul Goldschmidt. You know who I want? I want Bryce Harper, maybe Mike Trout. Later on, talking about some Macho Man, Manny Machado, Carlos Correa, you know, Chris Bryant. Yeah, real young. Giancarlo Stanton. Oh.
Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, oh.
Like,
That
so-
kid loves the pineapple, by
So
the way.
basically, your first, second round, especially, maybe even your first three,
Yeah.
don't get any of these old vets that are
You don't want to draft an
declining.
old geezer like this?
No,
bastard over
I
here.
wouldn't draft myself in the
Oh.
Dynasty League. I'm too goddamn old.
I wouldn't even draft your son. He's
I wouldn't either. No offense, Jesus.
yeah.
So who's some players that are on the fantasy Devils team?
Well, see, Fantasy Devil is never afraid to reach. He likes to take his pineapple and go way down deep, reach way down deep to get what he needs. Never be afraid to reach. Say you want a Miguel Sano or a Michael Franco, or Corey Seager, or hell, it doesn't matter who it is. You're gonna have to reach because there's gonna be some asshole sipping a fucking pineapple thinking he's gonna get them before you. Not when you got your pineapple and you're going deep early. Early and often, whenever you got it. That's how you draft a dynasty team. You don't want anybody old. You want your young guys, you want to build your core, and you want to run hard with it. Go young.
And also, when you're doing a Dynasty League, don't plan on winning the first year. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend it. Like, honestly, you want even your prospects. Like, of course, you want your Buxton, your Lindor, but like, you want even later ones like
Giolito and
Urias and Jan Makata.
oh, even deeper.
Even deeper.
Mazzara, AJ Reed. Oh,
Yeah.
you get that pineapple and you're just way, way deep, right?
And depending on the league settings, if you got young prospects, you still might even end up with the number one pick next year.
Oh.
And hopefully there's a foreign import or another number one pick that's going to look great on your team.
And if you're looking to tank, pick up the phone, give me a call anytime.
Tommy the Tank took lessons from the Fantasy Devil.
Ah, yes. Yes. He was a fine student. And he enjoyed the pineapple like all my students. Okay, what else do you do in a dynasty draft? You skip the old people, unless you're Joe or Woot, but they're old. They're old like you. It's disgusting. They just, instead of reaching deep with the pineapple,
they sit back, they drink, they enjoy the pineapple, and just take these like old ugly players like Cargo and J Up and Pujols and like stick it to the league.
That's disgusting, and yet somehow I find it very fascinating. But yes, for me in a Dynasty League, I draft young. I also make sure I get a few players I like, because I want to make sure I'm sticking around that league for a long, long time. Now here's the deal. In hell, the only kind of league you can play, there's no daily fantasy, there's no redraft year to year. The only thing we do is deep Dynasty, and it lasts eternally.
You're an asshole.
Get out of here, God!
Fine, fuck you. I'm going.
So remember, when you draft your Dynasty team, draft it young. Reach for players you want, and make sure you're ready to commit for the long haul, because you're going to be in there for an eternity. Fantasy gods! Please grant me the serenity to chase other fantasy gods from this set, the courage to add-drop fantasy gods aggressively, and the wisdom, as always, to take this pineapple and dig deep, baby!